I'm recording this now. This is in the middle of third and overtime. Fun fact, spoiler alert, it goes to overtime. And I'm recording this now because, quite frankly, I want to go to bed. I live on the East Coast, and the sooner I can wrap this up, the better. And there's a lot to talk about from this game, and I'm not going to be able to get to all of it. First of all, refs. Seriously, we're still talking about this. I don't know how on earth there are 5 missed hooks on Vegas in the first. That doesn't make any sense to me. There was maybe one with Henrique, but it wasn't called. Granted, hooking hasn't been called at all this entire game on both sides. And if you want to complain about the refs favoring Vegas, absolutely not. There was in the third period, specifically the one that's on top of my mind, Bouchard complaining about being tripped by White Cloud, I think, when he just lost an edge. And then Kulak, high sticks, Eichel, no call. Clearly, you know, Vegas down a goal. If you're the refs and you want Vegas to win, you call that, right? Like, he was on the ground and he had a little bit of blood on the inside, so you could review it and call it, right? Apparently, that's this huge conspiracy regarding all of this. And then there's the incidents with the goalies. And I, first off, want to say Calvin Pickard, I hope that he's okay, that he is perfectly healthy and is able to, you know, play as well as he has for the Oilers the rest of the series / if you win playoffs. Because what a story. Calvin Pickard, fantastic. And like VGK legend. But also, like, that's not, I don't want to win that way. Does that make sense? Kane barrels into Aiden Hill, like full speed into the paint. And yeah, he's going for the puck, but like it's up in the air. He knew what he was doing. It's Vander Kane. All these people are so fantastic on skates. You got to think, not like even the worst skater. Let's say Mark Stone, for example, one of the worst skaters in the league. They are so talented. They have worked so hard to develop all these skills with skating, and they know what they're doing. They know where their body is on the ice. He knew what he was doing. And just a really ridiculous play. And it was a right call to make it 4-on-4 because White Cloud punches him in the face on the floor because he's standing up for his goalie. And I'm okay with White Cloud taking that. But also, like, it's the right call to go 4-on-4 after that. And then there's the one with Pickard where Kulak shoves Hurdle over Pickard, which I, again, hope he's okay, but that's not a penalty on Vegas. And the one last game against, I can't remember, but it was Howden that shoved him into the goalie. That was the wrong, Connor Brown, that was the wrong call. That should not have been goalie interference. And the refs in general are just inconsistent to all heck. Not favoring a specific team. You've got to be, why watch if you think the refs are going to screw you at every chance they can? There's no point. It's rigging. Why would you choose to be a fan of it then? And so if the Oilers win the Stanley Cup, does that mean that they rigged it for them? Also, not to be that guy, but if Evander Kane is this healthy and played this well throughout the playoffs, has been really, really good for the Oil. I don't like him. He was probably healthy enough for game 82, right? Like, that's the argument that I've heard for years, even though we didn't use LTIR this year. And Mark Stone legitimately had 2 like Evander Kane legitimately injured. So was Mark Stone. He had 2 surgeries on his back, and then his spleen ruptured. And the league looked into it, and they there's stories of the league not looking into certain things, but especially with how evident it's become in the league in the recent years, they cracked down on it. And Kelly McCrimmon said over a microphone to the press, it was released, that the NHL investigated it. And if that didn't happen, I'm sure the NHL would have said something, or like someone in the NHL that, like Tim Peel, I don't know. I don't know. You guys are just like conspiracy theorists against your team. Like, whatever. Whatever. It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. Okay, gotta move on. So Vegas gets on the board first, again, which, you know, I was not thrilled about. Like I was, but also like, I know Edmonton plays better when they are behind, evident by what happened afterwards. But Vegas scoring first, it's a power play goal from Vegas Victor Olofsson. Fantastic stuff. Won't be tired of saying that anytime soon. But yeah, no, Vegas has been dominant on special teams against Edmonton. They've killed all 4 penalties, power plays, for whatever, and also they've scored on the power play against Edmonton. It's been really, really good. And the Henrique over the glass, 100% a delay of game. Like, I don't understand why Edmonton fans are arguing this. I'm not explaining this to my Vegas whatever. It's too freaking. I want to be civil. I want to respect Edmonton fans because you guys have an extremely talented team that is playing super well. Not the top players, particularly this series, but Connor Brown, Zach Hyman, fantastic. Jake Wallman scored. Darnell Nurse scored, and who was the third one? There were four. I'm not trying to disregard that. Evander Kane. Puck-Holzen. But the thing is Puck-Holzen and Nurse's goals absolutely beach balls that went past Aiden Hill. Aiden Hill, horrid game, horrid second period to be honest, because at the end he made some game-saving saves. But in that second period, oh my goodness, I was ready to pull him and put in Akira Schmid. That was just terrible from him. You need to be better, especially because on the other end of the ice, Pickard in net doing fantastic stuff. Made 4 grade A saves in like a 3-minute section of the second period. And then the other way, Edmonton came in and scored. And that was really good, but also just terrible from Hill. And defensively, we broke down on the Kane's goal. But if we want to go through specifics, it was a really, really solid play from Leon Draisaitl. They hemmed us in again but only this one shift. Like in general, Vegas's offensive production in the second period miles better than game 1, but also it was back and forth still, and Edmonton capitalized on all of their chances in the second. It was a really like good opportunistic period for Edmonton, and yeah, like that was good from them, and they had to be able to be in the right place to make these plays. I'm not trying to say that they did good things. Aiden Hill just should not have allowed 2 of those 3 goals, at least. And then Darnell Nurse, so they hem us in, they make a deceptive play that Leon looks like he's going to the bench, and Vegas tries to clear it, but he turns, grabs it, sends it up, and leaves it for a streaming in Darnell Nurse straight off the bench, and he just snaps it past Hill. That was good, fantastic play from game breakers that you have on your team that ended with a goal that made it a 2-goal lead that Vegas erases really quickly with a response from our top player, Jack Eichel, sending a shot on that gets tipped by William Karlsson on front to go past Pickard to make it 3-2. And that, I was so ready. I was so done. I was getting ready to record in the second intermission after they made it 3-1 because Vegas just blew it again in the third period. And not third period, second period, but with 3 goals. And you can't be doing that. Granted, it was going into the third period, so I mean, you guys had a lead. We had them right where you want, where we want you, right? Kind of. You can't argue. So Karlsson gets the goal, and then in the beginning of the third, Kane gets his off of a really good forecheck from Zach Hyman. He's so quick, and his bursts are fantastic, and he got to the puck that got past Brett Howden into Vegas's defensive zone really, really well, and then Evander Kane, that passing was gorgeous, and they buried it. Good job, Edmonton. I literally am trying to show that I am a fan of hockey first. I don't get why. Thank you, Edmonton fans, for being here. If you want to hit subscribe and like, that's great. I'm trying to be civil, and I would appreciate the same from all of you. I'm not trying to be blind. I feel like what I am saying is objectively just how I'm seeing it, and I'm open to discourse on it as long as it doesn't result back into complete childish whatever. Anyway, Vegas goes to the power play again, and they should have gone. I think the refs missed calls on both sides. They missed a call. The thing that you guys are probably thinking about is the McDavid with McNabb behind the net, but McDavid was trying to draw a call by refusing to let go of Braden McNabb's stick. In my opinion, that's one you let go because both of them are doing stuff that's not allowed. And then also, there was a play in the end of the second, beginning of the third. Bouchard launches at and holds and drags down. I don't remember who. Let me pull it up exactly so that you're not just thinking I'm making up stuff. Saad, who went back to the dressing room, the locker room after that. No call, but clearly the refs want Vegas to win, right? No, Vegas is just dominant on their power play. We are power play merchants. Just like you guys were 2 years ago. And maybe that's how you want it because 5-on-5 you guys have been the better team and that's what won us the series last time. And so who knows, you know, like whatever. I don't know how this is gonna end. But also, I don't understand. Anyway, there are missed calls on both sides. You can think yours are egregious. I can think mine are like bad, whatever. I think it's just officiating in general is terrible. Embellishment calls in other series. Have you been watching other series? Because they have been awful. Seriously? Rodriguez getting called for embellishment there? That was ridiculous, but whatever. Smith cross-checked. Perry, good call. They're starting over. I'm gonna record. Okay, quick. Victor Olofsson on the power play, the exact same thing as the first one. Haha, Vegas big power play goal, let's go. And then Alex Pietrangelo streams in. This is right after Pix gets injured, I think. I don't know. And he just buries it and ties the game. And then the rest of the game, there were chances both ways. And I'm gonna stop talking now. Oh man, was that Hurdle? Grade A breakaway opportunity, and he just Pix is solid. He's been so solid all game. Hannafin wasn't there on the spot, and they lose it. Here comes the Oil the other way. Well, this is an exciting beginning to overtime. I had a feeling this game was gonna go to overtime like early today. That's kind of an early whistle for icing. Oh, Waugh, that's a good call. That, I can't believe you did that, Nic Roy. Yikes. This is all but a foregone conclusion, right? Vegas is losing this game now. Nic Roy, you absolute idiot. I can't believe you did that. That was terrible. I really genuinely hope Trent Frederick's okay. This is dumb. I am so mad right now at Nic Roy. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Petro can't clear. Wallman, what a keep. Wallman keeps it in again. Off the side of the net or blocked or something. Vegas, if they hurry, 2-on-1, nope. Killed half of it, but there's still 2 full minutes. Oh man, there's no way, right? McDavid with speed, holy crap. Hill's completely out to lunch outside of his net crease. I'm not getting hope. I'm refusing to be hopeful at this point still. I was gonna be suspended from that. Aiden Hill coming up big so far, out of the zone. 30 seconds left, here comes Carlson. Pickard out to play it to Bouchard. Here comes McDavid with speed and cleared. I'm not getting hope, even though we killed it, because they still have a ton of momentum. It's more than just killing the penalty. It's also about the momentum. Holy crap, Zach Hyman, that close to ending it. Barbashev almost ends it. Theodore, shoot that. Why did you pass to Eichel? Hyman should have ended that. Oh my goodness, I just saw a replay of that. Hyman should have ended that, which would be the second game-winning goal of the series for him. Holy! What were you doing? Oh, geez. Oh, no, never. No, that's bad. His hand or shoulder, racing for the puck. Arvidsson shoves him. That's a bad non-call. Okay, at first, oh, geez. Oh, my goodness. That's dumb. Terrible non-call on Arvidsson. And at first, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, I'm just gonna... Congrats, Oil, on your 2-0 series lead. I'm gonna turn this off. This is so ridiculous. Whatever. Good hesitation on McDavid there for the pass over to Draisaitl, who buries it. And I had written this game off as a loss when Nic Roy did literally the second dumbest thing in franchise history that any skater has ever done. I'm gonna grab my child. The reason I say second dumbest thing is because he didn't try to rip Ryan Graves' hair out of his skull. That happened round 2, game 1 in the Colorado series, Ryan Reeves, which is what led to the 9-minute power play that Colorado got in that game. No, the major, completely justified, 100%. That Nic Roy should be suspended for 2 games after that, at least. In my opinion, that's what I think he should get. And if he gets 1, it's not because, it's because the Department of Player Safety sucks. Not because they favor Vegas, but because they suck. They are the most inconsistent agency that I've heard of in professional sports. It's ridiculous. And I feel like Edmonton fans would agree with me on that. Like NHL fans in general, the Department of Player Safety sucks. If Waugh gets suspended 5 games, sure, have him out the rest of the season. I don't want to see him after that. That was the stupidest thing. I can't believe he did that. I absolutely do not understand how boneheaded you have to be in order to commit that. That is ridiculous. And then I was giving, in the recording of me watching the overtime, whatever, I was giving Arvidsson the benefit of the doubt of saying McNabb and him were just going for it, and then McNabb lost an edge or something and fell into the boards. No, Arvidsson shoved him in the numbers with his stick in between McNabb's skates, deliberately doing that to him, causing him to get injured. I think McNabb's out for the rest of the series. That looked really bad for his hand, wrist, shoulder, entire arm. In Vegas, I wouldn't have expected a major. No, but 2 minutes for that is what I would have expected, and then Vegas Vic would have had his hat trick. And Vegas would have won 5-4 in overtime after killing off a 5-minute major because Adin Hill was spectacular in third period, the end of the third period, and overtime. And I kept telling myself, we kept killing the penalty, and I was like, don't get hope, don't get hope, don't, like, I'm not letting myself get hopeful. And even after we killed the penalty, I was like, don't get hopeful, because Edmonton still has all the momentum. And then Vegas starts to get chances the other way, and then it was good. Zach Hyman almost ended it off the crossbar. He probably should have before Vegas started to shift momentum the other way. And then Barbashev had a couple of good looks. Picks made a couple of good saves. Honestly, Pickard for Vezina, or not Vezina, the Conn Smythe. Holy moly. I'm pissed at my own player and at Arvidsson. Technically, I despise Kane, but that's just ridiculous. And the reason that I'm so pissed is because you all Edmonton fans have the audacity to say that the refs have favored Vegas this entire series. Absolutely not. 2 games deep, whatever, entire series, game 1, out to get you in the first round? Absolutely not. Are they terrible? Are they inconsistent to all heck? Yes, against every single team. The refs are terrible, objectively. They are just so bad at everything that they do. They are just cardio merchants. They're the definition of cardio merchants, doing whatever they want on a dime, on a whim, doesn't matter, who cares? And I'm not saying that they're the reason we lost this game. No, Adin Hill and giving up those in the second period are the reason we lost this game. Nic Roy is the reason we lost this game. Adin Hill kind of had a redemption arc at the end, but it doesn't matter unless you win. It does not matter how. It is the playoffs. It does not matter how you win. All that matters is that you get the win. And now we're down 0-2 in the series for the second time in franchise history, which, hey, congrats Edmonton. You and Colorado are the only 2 teams to make the Vegas Golden Knights go down 0-2 in the playoffs in their franchise existence. So hang that over your head. Was that the year Colorado won the cup? No, that's the year Vegas beat them in the second round back in 2021. And the difference between that series and this series is that Vegas were on the road for those 2 games. Then they came home and they won 4 straight after that. Now we're going to Edmonton. And I don't think Vegas is going to be able to win 4 straight. I think we're going to, if we at all can. It's going to go 7. I predicted this series to go 7 in the beginning with Vegas winning. And now that's looking like they have to. All Edmonton has to do after claiming 2 victories on... And I do want to say Edmonton deserved the win game 1. Clearly, 100%. There was no doubt in my mind. I'm not trying to say that they stole anything. This game... it was a lot more back and forth. They deserve... I'm sorry, I'm stressing you out. My heartbeat got up so high. Playoff hockey is stressful. The overtime playoff hockey, ridiculous. But no, genuinely, congrats. We'll see how it goes, but if you guys seriously think Edmonton is going to sweep Vegas, clip this now. No, I don't understand how you think that. If you think that the refs are against you, absolutely not. Are they? Well, we do not like each other, these fan bases, these teams, and I'm not trying to say that. I have a friend, a really good friend actually, that I haven't talked to in years actually, so maybe not that good. I'm sorry, are you struggling? I'm wearing a jersey and feeding a baby formula. This is not a good recipe. I know, I'm mad at them too. I can't believe they lost. I can believe they lost after Nic Roy's ridiculous penalty. You were alive, the second dumbest thing that Vegas has ever done, a skater at least, in franchise history. On the ice. Not just an uphill climb anymore. Uphill. It is a mountainous climb from here if we want to make it to the conference finals. And I don't know how likely that is. I don't not believe, I would not be surprised if Vegas were to turn around last year in the first round against Dallas who, holy moly, Dallas look unreal. And to be honest, and like Edmonton, you disposed of them in the 3rd round last year, so like, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but like, them adding Mikko Rantanen, like, I genuinely think they're gonna be a lot worse for you guys to handle if you guys move on and if they move on. But at the same time, especially because you guys are getting Ekholm back if you guys move on. They're getting Heiskanen back, probably. They just got Robertson back, so he's gonna be in game shape by that point if he doesn't get injured again. I'm talking as if Vegas is not out of it. We last season, last playoffs, won the first 2 games of that series on the road in Dallas. And then we came home and we lost 2. And then we still took that series 7. So logistically speaking, like it's harder to come back from a 2-0 deficit, whatever. But also at the same time, like road wins, home wins, it doesn't matter. It's mattering less and less in this league, home ice advantage. Granted, Vegas is gonna have to steal it back. I don't know what else to talk about. I'm so pissed still. I hope Frederick's okay. I hope Pickard is okay. But no Vegas fan I saw on my timeline that I interact with, which there's a lot of them, at all argued against the 5-minute major against Waugh. Dumb.
I want to put this in here because I didn't articulate it on camera, but the reason that I'm mad is that McNabb is hurt for who knows how long after a dirty play that should have been called. That does not mean that I am blaming the refs or that I think Waugh's wasn't worse than what Arvidsson did. I'm also still pissed at Nic Roy. Also, I am pre-arguing a little bit with the non-civil, entitled, immature Oiler fans that are just going to insult me or tell me to cry, which is gatekeeping. Please seriously watch the Hockey Guys video about gatekeeping because it's just ridiculous. Also, last video, I want to clarify something that I said about how you shouldn't complain about the refs, because that was not what I meant. I know, easy for me to say now. But what I meant was to not scream about refs rigging games for one team or another. It's okay to say that they suck, because they do. In some individual games, it may benefit one team over another, but in general, they're missing things on both sides. They're not trying to screw over one team.
That's gonna be it for round 2, game 2's nightly review. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.